So, I saw this creator who is like a PhD um, candidate, doctorate. I gotta take, this thing is choking me. I guess that's what it's for. But talking about like how when she comes on TikTok, the average user's like, "Oh, why are you talking down to us?" Blah 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 blah. But like other academics are like, "Why aren't you using more? Why aren't you citing your sources and using a more formal tone?" And it's something that I kind of like struggle with ever since I was small, because I just they literally tease me for reading the dictionary, right? And it's that like I always feel this like simultaneous pull to be more professional and more academic, but also I get this vibe that I'm also elitist. And it's like, I don't know, it's one of those things where I exist in duality and there's nothing to really do about that shit. But I also want to say that like the idea of academia is like so like I don't like saying elite, because like y'all need to calm down with that. But it's like rooted in such like anti-black, like it's just inherently anti-black. And as someone who went to school for writing, I had a lot of like independent study that I was able to do, and I used that as an opportunity to seek out black poets explicitly. Shout out to my aunt for giving me an Oxford collection of black poetry, because that was like a really good jumping off point to like discover more people. That's how I like discovered Audre Lorde. And I just saw this consistent thread of people writing how they speak. And I even had teachers who kind of like brought that forth as well. And I was really encouraged to explore my voice as a writer through journaling and just by creating work. And then when I like went to college, there was like this more like a slight push to have a more formal tone in my writing, and I did pick that up. But when I'm on social media, I don't capitalize shit. I'm not really worried about punctuation, and it drives some people crazy because I think I'm fucking illiterate. And I'm like, it's TikTok. It really is TikTok. I don't know what to tell you. And even when it comes to like my own, like my poetry and stuff, I don't really give a fuck about the grammatic rules or punctuation. When I start to write fiction, I am a little bit more adherent, but then you get all these people being like, "Oh, follow these rules." But then you look at someone like Hemingway, who, you know, really didn't follow all the rules either. Is that the writing is so stark and so bare. I love that type of writing. I love a short sentence. I love me a fragment, right? And I often think that like literacy is important, but like grammar can be like definitely a tool of oppression, especially like considering that like English is like a really fucked up language that has like very unclear rules to even begin with, as opposed to like a language that's a purely Romance language or a purely Germanic language. And I often see people like policing others based off of like how they talk or how they write. Where is I going with this? Maybe these will help me. Judgment, Page of Swords in reverse. Oh yeah, it was that like, but it's this thing where like in order to like judge someone enough to like make a correction, that means you understand them. And that always pissed me off. Like when people, and like there's a difference between like, oh, this is my friend, and we're talking and they want to learn how to speak better English, and another of being like, oh, actually, it's na, go back there, whatever, like that energy, right? And it's very like frustrating to me because, I mean, if you're able to understand enough to correct it, that means that the language was effective, right? And maybe it's just coming from a position of, you know, the work that I've done. And in the past, when I've edited work, when I edited my school magazine, I was like really like overly like critical of that stuff. And then later when I edited like like zines for in adulthood, there was this like more of like breathing room that I'm willing to give to like some of these things, because I know that like especially like with Black authors, we write to capture the natural rhythm of breath of speaking, and usually when there's some like an incorrect thing, it's because it's to match the rhythm of like how it's meant to be spoken or read. And so I've just stopped giving a fuck in a lot of ways, right? Because I wasn't even supposed to, like, the way it was supposed to go, I wasn't even supposed to know how to speak English. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking like this, they didn't want me to be able to, like, do any of this. Even now, there's people who don't want me to come on here and speak at all. But it almost feels like I'm just doing, like, verbal essays, and it's really nice. This other thing is, too, is, like, when you move into the social media space and you're like me personally, when I am creating so much, I really don't have the time to make everything perfectly MLA Chicago style perfect, especially when it comes to the captions, which auto generate, and I do my best to make sure that they are clear and they actually match what I say, but it actually takes me a good deal of time to correct the captions and actually make them accurate. And then the punctuation, I just let it go because the editor for the captions is so laggy. It's horrible. It's actually really terrible. And you see, I'm getting stressed out thinking about it. I'm like, oh, no, take it away. My face is so cute without the glasses. Oh my God. It's cute with the glasses too, but... and then when I tried to, like, there's a function to, like, remove the captions. When I hit that, my phone froze. TikTok crashed. So I was like, oh, no. Y'all are just going to have to deal with however my writing looks. And just know, like, I didn't complete my degree in communications, but I did go to school for 4 years in high school with a focus on it in one of the best schools in the country. So I know better than you, and fuck you. But I also know too, like, as I'm like looking towards publishing, that's going to be a conversation that I will have in the future, you know, about a lot of my work. God, that's going to go on my to-do list. But just kind of like defending the fact that, like, I write how I speak, and how I speak is valid and effective. And it's valid and effective because it can be understood by academics and people who are less formally educated alike, okay? Y'all both know enough what I'm saying to hate it and tell me how to do it better. So that means I'm winning, chat. Just keep that in mind, too. Like, that's just stupid.